Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to break down something we all do, but let's be honest, we could probably do it a whole lot better: asking for information. We're going to cover how to do it professionally so you not only get an answer, but a great one that actually helps you. I mean, we've all been there, right? An interaction starts with a simple enough question, and then somehow it just careens into this frustrating dead end. This text exchange about a TV, it's a perfect, almost painful example. It goes from a potential sale to "then don't waste my time" in just a handful of messages. Everyone walks away annoyed, and absolutely nothing gets accomplished. So the big question is, how do you avoid that dumpster fire of a conversation? What's the real secret to asking for what you need and actually getting a useful, maybe even friendly response back? Well, spoiler alert, it's not magic. It's a skill. It's all about mastering the art of the professional enquiry. And in this explainer, we're going to show you exactly how it's done. Okay, so before we jump into the nitty-gritty of how to write the perfect ask, we got to back up a little and talk about the why. Before we get into the mechanics, let's really explore why a well-crafted question is so incredibly powerful in the first place. You see, a professional inquiry, it's not just a question. Far from it. Think of it more like a strategic move on a chessboard. Yeah, it's a formal request for info, but it's also how you build professional relationships, create a paper trail when you need documentation, and gather the intel you need to make really smart decisions. Seriously, you can think of a great inquiry as like the Swiss Army knife of communication. With just one well-phrased ask, you're doing a bunch of jobs at once. You're gathering detailed info so you can compare your options, you're getting things down in writing for your own records, and you're building a professional rapport with every single polite interaction. It's a game changer. All right, so we get the why. Now let's get down to brass tacks and talk about the how. We're going to start with the most traditional format out there, one that, believe it or not, still holds a ton of weight in the business world: the formal letter. Okay, the classic formal letter, it might seem a little old school, but its structure is pure genius when it comes to clarity. Every single element, from the addresses and the date to that really clear subject line, is designed to remove any confusion. But the real power move here is in the body. Using bullet points for your questions isn't just about looking organized, it's a massive sign of respect for the reader's time. It makes it incredibly easy for them to just go down the list and give you a complete and helpful response. Of course, these days, let's be real, email is king. And a lot of the same logic from the formal letter carries over, just, in a faster, more condensed package. A great professional email absolutely relies on a powerful subject line to even get opened. Then the body should get straight to the point, say who you are, state your need clearly, maybe even use those bullet points again, and always, always end with a polite closing. It's all about being efficient without sacrificing an ounce of professionalism. So which one do you pick? When do you go for the letter versus the email? Well, think of it this way. A formal letter, with its really rigid structure, sends a message of seriousness. So if it's super important, we're talking legal matters, official job offers, formal complaints, the letter sends a powerful message. Email, on the other hand, is your daily workhorse. It's faster, it's more direct, and it's flexible enough for pretty much any professional inquiry you're going to make in a typical week. Okay, let's shift gears completely and talk about the fastest, most casual format, the quick message. This is where speed is a huge advantage, but it's also where things can go off the rails fast. Remember that TV disaster? There's a right way to do it professionally, so let's break it down. So to make sure your texts actually work for you and not against you, there are a few simple rules of the road. First, and this is a big one, always introduce yourself. Don't make them play guessing games. Second, respect their time by texting during business hours, and keep the tone professional. This isn't the place for a bunch of slang or emojis. A simple, clear message shows you respect them and makes the whole thing so much smoother. Okay, but asking is only half the battle, right? A great inquiry really deserves a great reply. This is just as important as asking correctly, because a good, thoughtful response can absolutely solidify a professional relationship. And luckily, there's a super simple 5-step recipe for the perfect reply. Start by acknowledging them, just a simple thank you. Then, confirm you understand what they're asking for. This shows you were actually paying attention. Third, give them the information they wanted clearly. But that fourth step, suggesting helpful next steps or alternatives, that's where you go from helpful to indispensable. Finally, just close politely to build some goodwill and keep that door open for the future. And here it is, right here, a perfect example of those 5 steps in action. The email starts with a polite thank you, Boom, that's acknowledgement. It confirms the request, showing they listened. Then it gives them the details with a catalog. But look at this. This is the magic part. They don't just answer, they suggest a new model, and they offer a discount. Now that is how you turn a simple reply into a relationship-building opportunity. And that positive closing, that's just the final professional touch. Wow. Okay, we have covered a ton of ground here, from super formal letters to instant messages and all the way back again. So let's boil it all down to the absolute must-knows, the essential takeaways you can start using in your own professional life, like today. Look, whether you're writing a formal letter or firing off a quick text, it really just comes down to these 4 golden rules. The 4 C's, if you will. Be clear, so there's no doubt about who you are and what you need. Be concise, get to the point, and respect their time. Be courteous. Professionalism, even a virtual smile, goes a really long way. And finally, be complete. Give them all the details they need so they can actually help you. Master these 4 things, and you've pretty much mastered the art of the ask.
So, the ball's in your court now. I want you to think about this. What's one thing, just one thing from this explainer, that you're going to use to make your very next professional ask or your next reply even stronger?